Hey, gods and goddesses, Neptune's final passage through Pisces. This is never going to happen again in our lifetime. Neptune spends about 14 years in each sign. So it takes about 164 to 65 years to get through the zodiac. So this is not going to happen in our lifetime. And so I want to go over what it means for each rising sign and what Neptune is trying to dissolve and teach us. Because remember, Neptune is the dissolving type of planet, right? It takes a long time, but it also is this planet of dreams, It's this planet of the unseen realms. It represents this bridge between the material and spiritual world. And this is a force that dissolves the boundaries of the ego. And this planet that really reveals the invisible threads and connection of all life. So, Neptune really kind of is structured to reveal the mystical, the hidden, the fluid. And I think at its core essence is trying to embody the universal consciousness. Let's just say that, right? And the awareness that all things are interconnected. And it teaches us that life is more than a tangible, and it's not even measurable, right? It's a web of energies, of emotions and subtle vibrations. Neptune being in Pisces, which is its whole sign, its home sign, has taught us a lot. Things that we cannot really explain, but we know that there's more to life than what we have been told and programmed to believe. And that's what Neptune's job is, to teach us about God, the divine, about divinity. And Neptune is retrograding from Aries. Definitely don't forget to watch my video of Neptune going into Aries. I'm going to put the link down below. And it's re-entering into Pisces. On December 10th, 2025, Neptune is going to go direct in Pisces, right? January 2026, January 26th, Neptune is going to re-enter into Aries. So that's next year. And then February 20th, 2026, Neptune is going to conjunct Aries, Saturn in Aries, and begin its next 14-year cycle in Aries. So while it's in Pisces, it's teaching us the last lessons of reality versus illusion, and spiritual awakening and surrender and compassion and dreams, intuition, creativity, the mysticism. Neptune is trying to devolve these rigid boundaries that we have, allowing us to perceive the unknown and the unseen. And it can also deceive in some type of way, right? It can create fantasies around addictions. Even self-delusion can happen in this shadow aspect. Neptune can cause confusion and can cause self-deception. And so this planet has a gift of deepening, compassion and psychic sensitivity, and even awakening like this creative genius that we have inside of us. Like I said, our divinity, our mystical insight, giving us a spiritual wisdom. And it's this channel for like divine universal love, inspiration. There's so many things to say about Neptune, but at its highest vibration is trying to bring this divine unity and transcendence. And it's Neptune is not always what you can see, but you can feel it, and that something else lives within you. And it just gives you the ability to see all this divine in things, the oneness in things and through the cosmos, and trying to manifest this unconditional love, both from expansion and healing, and even like creative alchemy. It's really trying to serve as a guide for the soul's journey beyond the material limitations. Imagination, mystical arts, intuitive healing. There's this creative expression that Neptune's expresses, within our charts, but especially within Pisces. There's a spiritual practice that we must develop. And it's like, where are you hanging on and clinging to illusions? And where can the truth be open? Like, where can you open the truth to higher guidance, to higher wisdom? I think the karmic lesson that Neptune has is trying to dissolve these attachments that keep our soul limited, And there's a lesson behind, like I said, illusions and, trying to merge with the flow of life. And this is all so that we can perceive the divine essence and all that we are experiencing. And so, yes, I can talk all day about Neptune, because I feel like the planet is just so fascinating, and to experience Neptune is so fascinating. And as a Pisces rising, Neptune has been in my first house, so I've seen so many things and have reached higher consciousness, and we all have in different parts of our charts. So I want to go over each rising sign and really talk about this mystical liberator and what it's going to dissolve for you. So yes, let's get started. Hey Aries, Neptune is going to dissolve illusions around solitude, healing, and spiritual escape. You may have sought refuge in fantasies, illusions, isolations, or avoidance, imagining that detachment meant peace, but this cycle is going to end with awakening, not retreat. The fog is going to clear for you around your inner world, showing you where you have been hiding from your own divinity, Aries. It's time for you to release escapism and integrate your spiritual gifts with integrity, through service, through creativity, through compassion. What's being reborn is your faith in yourself and in life. Hey Taurus, Neptune is going to dissolve your illusions around friendships, around communities, your visions, your purpose. You may have idolized groups or causes, believing that belonging would give you meaning, yet true belonging comes from being authentic and not conforming. Friendships that are built on fantasy or unspoken expectations, these are going to fade or dissolve. Your true allies are going to remain. This is your final initiation into selfless contribution, to dream with others, to believe in your vision, and to stay grounded and rooted in truth. Hey Gemini, Neptune is going to dissolve your illusions around career, success, and your public image. You may have chased a dream or identity that looked good, but it lacked grounding. Now the illusions of fame, recognition, or authority is going to dissolve, and this is going to reveal your soul's true calling. What you create from spirit and not ego is going to emerge. So let the fog lift from your ambition so that purpose and not perception guides your next chapter, Gemini. Hey Cancer! Cancer, Neptune is going to devolve your illusions around faith, around wisdom, around meaning. You could have clung to beliefs and teachings or even mentors that comforted you, but from what kind of kept you from thinking for yourself, Cancer? And the veil is going to be very thin. It's thinning, and it's showing you the difference between fantasy and true spirituality. This is a sacred reckoning of your worldview, and you have to find faith through direct experience and not from borrowed wisdom. What's emerging is your authentic philosophy to life, Cancer. Hey Leo, Neptune is dissolving your illusions around intimacy, control, and shared power. You may have merged too deeply with others, emotionally, financially, even energetically, and losing yourself in the process. As Neptune completes its cycle, truth replaces fantasy. Secrets are revealed, and dependencies dissolve. The illusions of control fades. You're being reborn through surrender, learning that real power actually comes from the flow of transparency and not from manipulation. Hey Virgo, Neptune is going to dissolve your illusions in love and partnership. You could have experienced or projected idealism onto others, even savior fantasies could have come into relationships. And this is a final unveiling of truth, of how you connect, what you give, what you tolerate. The fog is going to clear so that you can see love as it truly is, a mirror for spiritual growth, not escape. Real partnership is now beginning, rooted in clarity and mutual respect. Hey Libra, Neptune is going to dissolve illusions around work, service, and wellness. You could have sacrificed too much, ignored your limits, or believed in chaos that could be fixed over like through overgiving. The final phase brings purification of your habits, of your routines, of your health. Your body becomes your oracle, and your service becomes sacred. Release fantasies of perfectionism and embrace devotion through balanced and mindful living. Hey Scorpio, Neptune is going to dissolve your illusions around creativity, romance, and self expression. You may have confused love with longing or art with escape. Illusions of grand, passionate, or divine inspiration falls away, revealing the discipline behind real creation. This is your time to channel your heart into something lasting. Play, love, and create, not to be admired, but to live and to feel alive. Your true artistry is going to emerge when fantasy gives you way to devotion. Hey Sagittarius, Neptune is going to dissolve illusions around home, family, emotional roots. You may have romanticized the past, idealized your family, or escaped through nostalgia. But now Neptune is asking for the truth. The cycle clears ancestral fog and emotional confusion, helping you build a spiritual foundation from authenticity and not denial. True belonging begins within, in your heart, and not in your history. Hey Capricorn, Neptune dissolves illusions around thinking, communication, and perception. You may have blurred facts with feelings and avoided the truth to keep the peace. Now the mental fog is lifting. It's revealing how words and beliefs and narratives have shaped your world. Your final lesson is to speak with clarity and compassion, to think with intuition and logic intertwined. Magic begins when your mind becomes a clear channel for truth. Hey Aquarius, Neptune dissolves illusions around money, value, and self-worth. You may have mistaken potential for stability or generosity for self-sacrifice. As Neptune concludes its passage, you're asked to rebuild your sense of worth from within. Financial dreams that lack structure may fade, but what remains is solid, your true value. This is the end of scarcity mindset and consciousness, and their birth of soulful prosperity. Hey Pisces, Neptune dissolves illusions of identity, of escape, projection, your self-worth, your direction of life. This is your final metamorphosis, Pisces. This is the end of a 14-year spiritual fog or spiritual evolution. You may have been shape-shifted to please others, to absorb others, pain, even collective pain, or buried your own boundaries in search of transcendence. But now Neptune is asking for embodiment, to live your authentic self, but more importantly to live out your divinity as a humanoid, not a dream. You are no longer the mystic behind the veil. You are the veil that is lifting, and what emerges is your purest self, the intuitive and the compassionate in yourself as a whole.